Minasan, okaree nasai. Today I will be going over all the important things that happened to the Bang Dream Seiyu in 2023. Mostly anime roles, music, photo shoots, and guest appearances. But I will not be covering every single girl. The ladies who are in D4DJ, like Ryochi, Sumo, and Nishio, will not be featured here, so I can have more to discuss in that video. Plus this one is already going to be massive. I will however go over all of the Poppin Party girls and the lead singers, even if they are in other franchises. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. This here group section where I cover events that will have 3 or more girls involved, so I don't repeat myself too much as the video goes on. Also, I may briefly mention some other Seiyu who won't be fully covered in the video, but only if they are at an event with other Bushy girls. Airi Suzuki and Masayoshi Oishi's Any-Song cover show had Aina Aiba, Sai Otsuka, and Yuka Ozaki. Then Aiba again, Ayase Ito, Amane, and Suguta were at the Koizuka event, though Ito's day was actually in a different month than the others. And then Ozaki, Aiba, Hina Aoki, and Nishio were at the Aniroko Fest in Shika. Keeping up with those 3 again, Aiba, Aoki, and Nishio, again along with Amane, were at the AFA Singapore. Actually, Sumipi was there too, just at a different booth. Aiba and Aimi were in the music video for Ani-sama, Aina's first time ever, and Aimi's 2nd year in a row. There was a stage play by the name of Toa Sugai, which featured a bunch of Bushiroad girls, Ryochi, Moipi, and Kagami, and then Hotaru from Revstar. Hashi, Yuki, Miku, and Sumire were at Animax, while the Miyako Premium Live had Ayase Ito and Yuki Nakashima. Ohashi, Miku, and their friend Machiko were at Anime Revolution 2023 in Vancouver. There was a reading drama called Rodoko Maho Iku, having Aiba, Ayase Ito, Emiri Kato, and Yoko Higasa. There were a bunch of other amazing talented Seiyu in there as well, like Hidaka, Toyama, and Yasuno-san. There was a big Hibiki Fest in August, and it had basically everyone you'd expect. Nichio, Chiharu, Aiba, Tono, Sumagi, Watase, Fukugawa, Sasaki, Aimi, Shindo, and Ayasa. Basically only missing Momori, Aoki, and Tataishi. But Hibiki also decided to make its own Seiyu unit, Animalia Q. Consisting of these 5 ladies right here, low-key the higher-ups just wanted the copy of Muse. But on a serious note, it is cool to have more units like this. Even though half of these girls already got stuff going on, and they could have just used some of the lesser known Hibiki girls for this one. Speaking of, half of these girls are in Team Y, and they released their very first song, Young. That's what the Y stands for, by the way. Good choice, and also, it's a pretty good track. And they also released a card collection. For this year, Hibiki will have a big fest just next month. So now onto the girls themselves. Aimi Terakawa had her new song Magical Destroyer, the opening for the anime Magical Girl Destroyers, also having a role, and this song is crazy by the way, very different from her usual stuff. And she also had Bono Paradise, the opening for Temple, also having another role. Then there was Help, the second opening for Helk, another really good song. That whole EP is just one of my favorites. And again, she had a role in the show. More anime aside from new seasons of D4DJ and Bang Dream, she also had an Idolmaster season, and I'm in love with the villainess. Great name by the way, me too. But she also debuted into Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's go Aimi. Her Idolmaster group Million Live had their 10th live, well 3 of their 4 acts, Aimi being at all 3 of them, but there was also the Ichigen Fest, the Love Live Idolmaster crossover. She was a guest at Troisen event, which I do believe is a radio channel. Her and Seriko were guests at the A&G Fun More Tune radio, and she was also a guest on Inori Minase's Melody Flag. And then yet another radio show, Fave 4. But she was also featured in MyGO magazine, volume 37, with all of the Aqua girls, Nako Misaki from Liella, Coco from Niji and MyGO, and even other popular Seiyu Yuka Eguchi. But she was also on the cover for the August issue of Seiyu Grand Prix and the AniPass Plus 10th issue. Over on her YouTube, she uploaded 4 or so vlogs, some live videos from her tour from last year, 3 new music videos, though one was animated only, and also even doing a dance practice video. She also had a show, Aimi no Bono Radio, having other Seiyu on as guests, though it was audio only. And she only seemed to have 4 episodes to promote her upcoming single. Maybe she'll do it again though, it was a fun idea. She also opened up a fan club titled Okomai-san, and lastly for her, as always, a birthday live show. This year, she'll be at the King's Record Super Live Show. Ayase Ito released a new photo book titled Honey. Always gotta watch out for the short ones, they're usually packing heat. She had her debut song release, Love and Seesaw, was with some familiar faces at the voice actor Utagasan singing event, also a karaoke diner themed event from the Voice Actor Grand Prix Company. Also performing at the Seiyu Kohaku event. She herself was not part of the Bushiroad Rock Fest, but she did attend with Sasaki to show some support. Aside from Team Y having a card collection, Ayasa herself sort of had one. Pretty sure she had one last year too. She was also part of a drama reading called Warai Goe with lots of other familiar Seiyu, and being featured in part 2 of the Joyu Project's new Warrior shoot. She had herself a live show. I do believe it was her first one solo, considering this year was her singing career debut, and if anything else happened in the first half of the year, well then I have to have missed out on it. Due to Twitter limits, it would not let me see anything before May 23rd, which will be a theme going forward, so if I missed anything important from the girls, that is probably why. But for new roles, she joined Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider specifically, for the Winter movie. And for new voiceover work, Ayasa joined Pretty Derby, but she also had a lead role in Ippon again, having more new roles in Temple and Kawasugi Crisis, and then reprising her role in Goblin Slayer. She was also in a PC game called Ginka, as well as a mobile game, Reverse 1999. And well, the last thing for her was her celebrating her 10th anniversary in the industry. This year, she'll be in a bowling anime Turkey and a movie called Omuro K, which is a spin-off to Yodo Yuri, and she will be at parts 3 and 4 of Pretty Derby's 5th live show. Well, I guess it's actually a tour, not a show. Anyway, Ayako Ohashi, let's start off with concerts and live appearances. She was a guest at Aniara Bash, Japan Jam, and AGF Korea, having a fan meet over there as well, also one in Shanghai. She was at the Flow 20th anniversary show and did an event with some Hololive girls. She actually spends time with various VTubers fairly often. There was a live performance for NHK's Everyone's Domo-kun, a few times actually throughout the whole year. With Love Live Seiyu Maeda, she was a guest at the Maneki Karaoke event, also a guest for another Love Live girl, Kanako's Nico channel. Lives include the Cinderella Girls Shoutout Live, Ichigan Fest, the Love Live Idol Master crossover, Uma Musume's 5th, also being with them at the FNS Music Festival on Fuji TV, as well as Animax Musics. Then over at Anisama, by herself, she had a crossover song with Mamori. And then as a solo act, she had herself a solo live in May. Like a few other popularities, she was on one of the covers for AniPass Plus 10th issue, also on the September issue of Seiyu Grand Prix. How she had her first photo book, really didn't expect this, but holy, thank you very, very much. Her new song Please Please was the opening for the new season of Masamune-kun, where she of course reprised her role. Also reprising in Idolmaster, Aikatsu, and Pretty Derby. This woman is an idol legend. She even debuted into Sound Euphonium and had roles in Synduality Noir, Kawasugi Crisis, and Handyman Saito in Another World. She got herself her full license and even won an award for Best Adlib at a Seiyu Grand Prix event. And then there was a whole lot of minor stuff that I just skipped over in general, like anime or small role promotions. Mostly for Masamune-kun, since that is very much her anime. But although she did open up her YouTube last year, she was fairly more active on it this year. Not too much, but enough for some good content. Lots of gaming too. I'm weak to anyone who plays Mario Kart. I will always watch that. So for this year, she will have new album Reflection and a role in the Strongest Tank Labyrinth raids. Then she will also be appearing at the spring show for Animax. Good to see that they're doing 2 shows again. Well, hopefully. Sai Otsuka went over to Santa Monica to film a music video, where she uploaded a bunch of small clips to Twitter of her speaking English. Naturally, this means new music. Quite a bit actually. 5 songs total. Cigarette Butt, Romance Dawn, Shadows to One Piece, second digital single, Romance is Stranger Than Movies, then We Are to Be Humanoid Beings, and the advent of Don Quixote. Those last 2 having music videos, with violinist Ayasa being in the Humanoid song. Then like right at the end of the year, she had Hotorubi. Most of these debuted on her brand new record label, Great Romance Records. On Saichi's YouTube channel, you can find some behind the scenes videos and just a lot of videos in general, all with subtitles. Also live versions of some older songs. Then when it comes to anime, well, nothing new, just her 2 music franchises having new seasons. She is much more of a musician rather than Seiyu, so this isn't surprising. When it comes to lives, she had a show in Yokohama, then her and Iris member Yuki Wakai had an acoustic live together. With D4DJ's Rondo, she was at Bushy Rock and Lucky Fest. She was a guest on Yuka Nishio's Nico program, looks like they had a lot of fun, and she had a few radio shows with Haruka Mamura on Tokyo Star Radio. But as for events, being a guest at the Spice E Plus show, then right at the end of the year, she was at the Say Cheese event. Great name. Moving right on to the final Poppin lady, Rimi Nishimoto. She was a guest at the Nagoya Super Rock DJ party, looking absolutely amazing. The drawings on her looking like tattoos are absolutely amazing. The goth look really suits her. Also the Geki Rock DJ event, being at the Softbow Fest, and Story of Song stage. She had her first ever DJ event in Korea at the Kimchi Kura Fest, and she was also a guest on the Bang Dream Dreamers Tune, usually only hosted by Moishi and Aiba. Rimi also continued her stage play Battle Balls, which started last year. She also had more geeky rock fashion collabs. Her line of clothes look really cool. Then just like last year, she was at the Voice Actors Trick or Treat event. She didn't have any new roles, but she did reprise her horse character in The Fruit of Evolution. But she did debut into D for DJ in Lily's Arisugawa Academy stage play. I don't remember if her character actually had a name. I think she was just referred to as Student Council Clerk. But I do have a feeling these 4 girls will have some sort of bigger role in the future. Then over in Assault Lily, she was in the Gleam of Dawn stage, but also the Blade of Truth. There was some Rebirth for You events and a drama reading called Undercode. Well, actually it doesn't seem to be a reading drama, but some new music franchise. Not sure on the details though. And also a live showing for her Nico program. But the final thing for her, she actually updated her profile, so now her talents include lyric writing, bass, video editing, planning, composition, and direction. A very hands-on girl, and her hobbies include saxophone, euphonium, guitar, piano, drums, and other instruments. An absolute musician. One of those other instruments actually being a erhu, which is like a Chinese cello. She really is a beast. This year, she'll be in Assault Lily's newest stage, Lily Scramble. However, in the beginning of November, she ended up getting sick, which actually made her miss a different Lily event, actually being completely recast for that whole show. And it seems to be getting very serious to the point where people think she may have to step down in Poppin Party. Though this is Google Translate and people also tend to just overreact, so hopefully she recovers soon and all goes well for her. So next up is Roselia, specifically Aina Aiba, having 2 new roles. In Temple with her Hibiki sisters, and also debuting into Sorcerer, Stabber, Orphan. Not too much going on with her, so I'll just reiterate a little bit. She was in the Anisama video, as well as the fest itself. But not solo, she was with Roselia and Starlight Kukugumi, also being at the Kukugumi stage play and the live. She had a few wrestling events, still being very active in the community, just not actually wrestling anymore. Also being a guest on Team Y's YouTube channel, and she had a photo shoot with Dream Pictures. There was also a drama reading called Ada, which she had like 4 different sessions of, and a mafia murder mystery reading as well. She had a birthday event, which is pretty standard stuff, but aside from that, she actually had another one in Shanghai. Also shoutouts to the poll that she had between these 4 costumes for her to wear during her first event. The 2 blonde Aibas won, of course. And this was also so she could flirt with her 2 guests. Now for 2 very miscellaneous things, she got the new strand of COVID. Great. Not really though. And she posted a few pictures with her dog. I never even knew she had one. At first I assumed it was a friend's, but she posted a few times with it. And the last thing for her, she was on the Crossing Covers YouTube channel. Haruka Kudo had her KDHR Colorful Orchestra tour, 10 shows in March and April, then another 5 towards the end of the year. She was also a guest on Ken Washizaki's Acoustic Fun Club. She was part of the Voice of Symphonic Volume 2 with idol masters Yuri Komagata. Also being at Mika's drum lesson event, she actually looked really good on the drums. Maybe she chose the wrong instrument when joining the franchise. Anyway, she's also part of a new multimedia franchise called A Love for All. That is her all the way to the left. But here's a better look. And she also had a lot of radio events, mostly for Revstar with other girls in the franchise, mainly Hotaro Nomoto, or Hinata Sato, and Momo Yokoyama. I mean, if we were really lucky, we'd have all 4 on the same show. She released 2 brand new music videos. One is just a live performance of Crawl Up, and the other being a more traditional music video for Secret Summer. As for anime, she got to be in one of the new Sailor Moon movies, and just like Aiba, she got the new strand of COVID. This year, she is set to have a live show on her birthday. Next up, Megu Sakuragawa, Diggler's High featuring D4DJ was a 2-day event where Meguchi guest DJ'd. You see those eyes? I really enjoyed those eyes. One of the set lists even included Love Lives BB and Arise, which she was actually the leader of back in the day. She was also a substitute for Aiba on Bang Dream Dreamer's tune since Aina was sick. So Meguchi got to hang out with fellow drummer, kind of, Moishi. I mean, Moishi's character is the drummer in the franchise, but her herself does not do any drumming, unfortunately. Anyway, her and Shizaki did a photo shoot together with Seiyu Tomo Photo, both looking great. I said in a video recently that I have a weakness to drummers, and yeah, man, she's just great. She did some promotions for the Sake Street Company, another lady who enjoys her alcohol, also being a guest at one of Mika's live drumming lessons. And if you don't know, Mika was Megu's actual drumming instructor, so this was perfect. She was also a guest lecturer at the Heisei College of Music, and a whole bunch of festivals I've never heard of that I would usually skip over, but these actually had some info on them, so I'll quickly mention her appearance at the Tokyo ERG Summit Volume 49, Red Night Fest, Sanriku Connect Festival with fellow agency member Ryochi, and then kind of 2 more known shows like the Nagoya Rock Fest and the Tokyo Game Show. Specifically, Morpho on stage to represent Gunvolt, also being a guest multiple times at the DJ Time Club with other recognizable ladies. No new anime for her, but this year she will have another Gunvolt show, this one being Joho Kyokyu Electronic Song Festival 2024 in mid-January. Yuki Nakashima was at the EJ My Girl Fest, as well as Anisong Days. She released a special photo book showcasing pictures of her from 2019 to 2022. There was also a photo book released recently that had all off shots. And you know what, I'm now realizing that's probably the same photo book. Oh well. Anyway, she also had a Seiyu card collection. Yuki also got COVID around June and had to miss a Project Sakai event, but she also opened up an Instagram account. She had a big year for music, her second album Sapphire, third single A New Day, ending for The Great Cleric, and fourth single Kasumi no Muko E, ending of Goblin Slayer Season 2. She even had an English version of this whole song. She reprised her role in Cardfight Vanguard Will Dress and had a new role in Helk. As for live shows, well, aside from Roselia, she was only at the Ichigen Fest. But she did have all of Roselia, minus Kudo, on one of her Gaming Nico streams. And then most of the other stuff were just promotional events for her new music, and for her home prefecture. But also, her and Ryo went to Disneyland together. Oh, and Yuki Megu TV is still going strong. I will always sit down and watch some Mario Kart with my fave Seiyu, as I said earlier. I think this year Megu even won her first Grand Prix. Actually, it might have just been her winning one race in first place, but either way, she was thrilled. This year of 2024, she will be at the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Unit Live with her subunit, Sola Iris. It's a pretty cool name, honestly, but this will specifically be the Iwate performance in March. There is also going to be Project Sakai's third live in January and February. As for anime, she will be in Days with My Stepsister, voicing the stepsister. And I'm not going to make a joke, I already did that in the video I made about her, so let's move on to Kanan Shizaki. She made a new fan club early on, and she had a fan meet with some familiar faces as guests for part 1. Then a few months later for part 2 was just her and a band of ladies to provide music while she blessed everyone with her vocals. Shizaki got her own trading card collection of her photos, but also a photo shoot in Korea. At the Farbe Roselia Live, she announced her debut as a solo artist. So get ready for some wicked vocal heavy songs in the future. She is a goddess. She even had her first debut song, Prayer, having a music video and writing the lyrics for it. She was also part of this reading drama called Oka Romando with a wicked cast, as you can see here. Had that photo shoot with Seiyu Tomophoto alongside Meguchi. She was also fairly active on her YouTube channel, posting some music covers. And like many others, she became obsessed with Oshinoko. No new anime, and honestly I don't see her voicing too many things for the rest of her career. She is much more of a musician, and now with her solo debut, I assume that will be her main focus along with Roselia. So you can also expect to see her at some events and festivals as a solo act in the near future. Next up is Ras, not having too much honestly, no new roles for any of them. Also, again just to remind you, Ryo and Suma will be in the D4DJ Seiyu's recap. So, Rachel sang the opening for an anime War of the Visions, and recently she had her newest single, Scent. She was a guest at Music Circus and had a live tour titled Sing Alone. Sumu even showed up a few times to show support for her mother. But also Himari, who was in the same agency as Rei, and I'm sure Rei is the best senpai to her. Since there's not too much else to say about her, she was a guest on the Dreamers Tunes very recently, and like with Nanchan, she uploaded quite a few covers to her YouTube, but also some other music related things as well. Natsume became a freelancer pretty early on in the year, then like 4 months later she joined a new agency, Wonderspace. She had a fashion collab with Kingly Mask, as well as Kitsan Mi. She also joined KG Promotional Gym, where other Bushiroad girls like Hinata and Negishi also train at. She even had a reading drama, Amateru Dormitory Exorcist course. She was fairly active on her YouTube channel, posting music related things, like some drum covers, very fun. But she also recently started streaming her playthrough of Resident Evil 2 Remake, with this cute little 2D avatar. Riko Kohara was at a Respect for Geeks event, the Geki DJ party, and being at the DJ Time Club twice, also being at the D4DJ collab with Diggler's Eye. Then she was a guest at the Nagoya Busai Summit, also Nagoya's 3-star Ima Ike event, and the Nagano Aniera Fest. I think this is the biggest event she's ever been at by herself. There was also an event to promote her home prefecture with fellow Gifu girl Yuki Wakai, and was in the same murder mystery reading drama as Aiba. Riko was a guest over at Minami Tanaka's cooking show, and on Ayas's YouTube channel. But for her channel, to keep up with the last few girls, Kohara is actually the most active on her YouTube out of basically anyone in Bandori, gaming a few times almost every week. This year was a lot of Ghost of Tsushima and Pikmin, along with a few vlogs and even a song cover. Then no new anime, but she did voice a character for the Pokemon Mesostar arcade game. Next up is Morfonica, starting with their lead singer, Amane Shindo. Her first photo book, Midori, Bless. She joined Tokusatsu, specifically Kamen Rider 555 20th Anniversary Paradise Regained, which will technically air this year. She voiced this cool demon girl in a game called Dislight, as well as being a new ship in Azure Lane. She was at a Respect for Geeks event and did a gaming stream sponsored by Sega with Miyutan and Arcana Project's Shio. She was also a guest over on the radio show hosted by the girls from Ophelia Saga. She had a fan meet in Korea, went to the Narikiri World, which is like a big show for tokusatsu stuff. She had a card fight event where she probably lost every match to those turbo nerds. But then she was there recently for another event where she was actually just the MC. She attended the Flow Naruto concert, as well as the Love Live Idol Master Ijigen Fest. Both times just as a fan, because she actually is a massive fan of all of those things I just mentioned, so that's not surprising at all. She also became part of the Starry Monogatari project, which I know nothing about, as it itself was just created a few months ago. She is in costume though, so I'm assuming it's some sort of stage play or performance. And all that stuff basically happened within the last 3 months of the year. Since she posts very often and Twitter has that limit on how many tweets you can see, I can only go as far back as October. Yeah, very unfortunate, but it's a good thing that I took some notes as the year went on. Though it seems a lot of her year was just her 3 franchises anyway. Even anime includes all old characters in D4DJ, Bandori, and Cardfight Vanguard. As for this year, she will have a calendar book. It's probably already out. Next up, the beautiful Miss Suguta. She left her agency and went freelance. Though that didn't last long, as like 2 months later she joined new agency, Haikyo, which is dangerously close to the same name as one of my favorite anime ever. Speaking of, as for anime, she had a role in The Legendary Hero Is Already Dead, also in the Richi City Mahjong game, as well as Grand Summoners, even joining Assault Lily, but it's only in the game version for now. Actually, she also recently joined Honkai Star Rail as well. Other things include her being in a fashion collab with LTA, and a fashion challenge with 7 other beautiful ladies. Holy hell, I wish I could have been there to see this. She also had a fan meet along with a nice birthday event, and even attended Amane's birthday show with Chiharu, who is her best friend by the way, and the two of them also had a photo shoot with Seiyu Tomo Photo. By herself, she went over to Chile for the Super Japan Expo and Animart in Indonesia. She had a reading drama for The Demon's Bride, and she was a guest over at Nishio's program for a big live event that she was having. She was fairly active on her YouTube for the first half of the year, but around June she kind of just stopped. I think all of her gaming streams are now on Nico Nico, but her stream with Chiharu is still going strong. Then, 2 pretty big things. She won the Rookie Actress Award for Marin at the 17th Seiyu Awards. But over at the Radio Awards, she won the Best Male and Female Radio for the My Dress Up Darling radio show. This year, she will have the sequel to My Dress Up Darling and a reading drama called Voresen. Mika had a live event where she did some live drumming lessons, and some familiar faces were there as guests, and I would assume as students as well. She had 2 of these, by the way, about 3 months apart from each other. She also just had various drumming events and being at festivals I've never heard of, since she's basically a drummer for hire, so she basically goes wherever she is needed. She actually did many shows for a very underground idol named Nao Yamamoto. But other than that, just a lot of Morfonica lives and Bandori streams. So, Ayase Shimamura, the final member of the Butterfly Quintet, she formed a group known as East of Eden, not to be confused with the anime Eden of the East, where she is both leader and producer, releasing their first single, Evolve, and another song titled This Moment. Music videos for both of these as well. Also having their showcase live. These girls are kind of a powerhouse group, by the way, and I'm really looking forward to their future. In the summer, she had a live tour, Glory Glory, which actually some people may not know that she does have a solo career. Though it is only her playing the violin, but it is very soothing, and I love the sound of that instrument. Aside from that, she had a singular live with musician Nao Nishimura, being part of the band for Sayaka Yamamoto during her ZEP tour. She was a guest at a Kyoto Soundtrack Fest, and like many others, she had a birthday live, and even had a duo live with rock group D-Drive. She had an Azure Lane show, Queen's Order, with many other violinists, also being at 2 shows for Fate Grand Order. There was even a reading stage for Octopath Traveler. Now going back to her solo career for a second, she released 3 songs, Rocho Ren-un, Sakura Mekari, and Dualism, also being featured on the entire album Scream of Silence by the group Noise, which is all instrumental by the way, and she was also a part of one of their live shows. And she released her Live in Japan Symphonic Metalization album. And if all that wasn't enough, she had her second mini-album, A Fraction 2. This girl is the definition of a musician. Oh, and like I said in the Saichi section, Ayase played violin for one of Saichi's new songs. Ayase also posted about 10 covers to her YouTube channel. And here in 2024, she's got another small tour just within the first few months. I did not expect to talk about her for that long, and I even skipped a few things too. Jeez. Well, now let's move on to MyGO. Or go to MyGO? I don't know, there's a pun there somewhere. Actually, for these next 2 groups, since most of these girls are relatively new to the industry, don't expect too much from them for the next year or so. but there are two, one in each of the new groups, maybe a third, who have actually been around for a little bit. One of which is Coco Hayashi. If you already saw the Love Live recap, well, feel free to skip the next minute. If not, well, she was announced to be the new Setsuna Yuki for Love Live's Nijigasaki, debuting at the Nijitabi fan meet in late April. Also being at the Bushy Rock Fest, the Love Live Idolmaster Collab Live, and Niji's 6 Live. With the group, there was also a bunch of new music, but I have already talked about that in a previous video, and there's a lot to go over in this one. So, with her former group, Run Girls Run, they were at the Idol Super Live, and then they were disbanded after their final live. Coco then left AO1 Produce at the end of March and became a freelancer. A little over 2 months later, she announced that she had joined MIT Management. Naturally, this also meant opening a new fan site. Aside from this, she had like 4 pre-champ performances, one actually being all virtual. She was featured in the MyGO magazine volume 37 with a bunch of other Love Live girls, in a musical called Neo Doll, and a stage titled The Stars Fall to the Queen. Coco was also on Shindo's monthly livestream, Amanebu, as well as Yuki and Aiba's game channel with other Love Live girls again, though Aiba was actually absent for that stream. And let's end off on some anime. She was in World Die Star, Tonikawa, and Initial D spinoff MF Ghost. She literally had the best year of her life, and at such a young age. She is currently the only girl to be both main cast in Bandori and Love Live. And both of these announcements were revealed to us within like 2 weeks, might have even been the same week. Really excited for her future, and I'm hoping she could find a good balance of work and resting. Next up are the Hinas. First, Aoki had seasons 2 and 3 of Cardfight Vanguard Will Dress, even being at some cardfight tournaments, blessing the participants with her singing. And a very similar situation for a Weiss Schwarz event. Then she had Stage of the Golden Witch, which is a stage play, if that wasn't obvious, actually having 3 different episodes of it. And I just want to point out that Hina does this very convenient thing where she posts a calendar with important things that she's up to that month. Some other girls do similar stuff like this, but Hina is the only one that actually posts a full month's calendar, and it's a really good idea. Anyway, she also sang the ending theme at Yume Ukihashi for a PC game called Ginka, and a fashion collab with Kingly Mask. This company really likes Seiyu models, and I don't blame them. Then lastly, she was in the new Starry Monogatari project. And one more thing I just want to point out, it's not new, but for newer people, if you don't know, she's also part of Revue Starlight, where she's even shown off some of her opera singing, which you can actually find easily here on the tube from the official channel. And she was also at a few of these events this year as well. So from one Hina to another, Yomiya actually had a lot of anime. I thought she was a rookie, and I mean she still technically is, but she was really out there this year. First up, reprising her role in Eminence in Shadow, and that's it for the old stuff, but new stuff. Well, new stuff includes Giant Beast of Ours, The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess, Ningen Fushin, The Dangers in My Heart, Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, My Tiny Senpai, Tear Moon Kingdom, Stardust Telepath, Tonikawa, Reign of the Seven Spellblades, the young version of this gentleman in Ayaka, and even Oshinoko. Yeah, that's a hell of a year. As for games, she had a role in Tactop and Goddess Nikkei. Then lots of promotion for her shows, mostly Dangers in My Heart, but also a reading drama, Lie vs. Liars. And she's one of the hosts on the A&G network for their show Hope, with 4 O's. This year, she'll be in Season 2 of The Dangers in My Heart. Rin Tataishi was at the Bushy Road Card Fest, along with many other ladies, but she herself was actually one of the main MCs, also being at the Rebirth 3rd anniversary. That's Rebirth for You, by the way, the card franchise. She also had lots of wrestling events, as she is now the ring announcer for the Stardom promotion. She was also part of the stage play Advent Soul, was in the Otana project, and had a drama reading called Oasis. She was a host for Undercode's first single, a new group that she is also in, though I'm actually not sure which character she portrays. And like her Hibiki sisters Aoki and Shindo, she's also in the new Starry Monogatari franchise. And just a final note, she was basically the main character of the MyGO anime. And if Rin was the main protagonist of the show, then Mikako Hinata was the antagonist. Low-key, just a villain for half of it. But she was also at an event called Yume Kabo Dabo. That was fun to say. But she also had a stage play called Mihalik, and a reading drama called Amateru Dormitory Exorcist Course. Then the rest of her year was just promoting MyGO, being their main representative, honestly. Next up is Ave Mujica with Riko Sasaki. She reprised her role in Jashin-chan, and had a new role in Campfire Cooking in Another World and World Die Star, also acting as that second one in live action. And actually keeping up with that, she had a Kageki Shoujo stage portraying the same character that she voiced back in 2021. There was a fair amount of pretty cute stuff, and she even attended the final live of Run Girls Run. Very nice to see the new Bandori girls supporting each other. She had a bunch of Jashin-chan events, and then she was a guest at Annie Song Days, even having her own solo live show. She had two mini-albums, Akatsuki and Yoi, released on the same day, the lead tracks on both albums being theme songs for mobile games. Over on her YouTube channel, she didn't post too much, a few animated music videos and some covers, even one with Coco. The two of them seem to actually be really good friends, though one seems to like the other a little bit more. As for the piano prodigy, Kanan Takao, she had a lot of roles. First up, reprising her role in Eden Zero, and then debuting into By the Grace of the Gods with its second season. Also voicing in a lot of stupid isekai. My one-hit kill sister, the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist, my unique skill makes me OP even at level 1, my daughter left the nest and returned as an S-rank adventurer, and Tear Moon Empire. Then her idly pied group released their third single, Gemstones. They also had a live event called Venus Party. They began their ZEP tour on Christmas Eve, which will have 4 more shows in January. She promoted some new stuff for Ange Verge on the Dengeki Gaming channel, as well as a talk event to celebrate its 10th anniversary. That shit's been out for 10 years, I still don't know how to pronounce it. She had a little promotional stream for Tear Moon Empire with these two beauties, and was at a Tokyo Game Show with 2 more beauties. So this next thing is actually really cool. Her and Aguri Onishi have been hosting a radio program together for many years now, and this year they had a little battle against other duos who are really good friends, a game that tested brains and courage. They actually seem to do a few of these, but unfortunately the YouTube videos have been privated and the Nico channel, well, you have to pay for the subscription. So if you can and want to, that could be a really fun watch. And then for this year, aside from the Ave Mujica anime, she'll be in Konosuba Season 3 as the character she has been voicing in the game for a while now, but also reprising her role in The Detective Is Already Dead and banished from the Hero's Party. The drummer babe, Akane Yonezawa, is a very similar case to other drummers in the franchise. Aside from Hashi and kind of Megu, they are more musicians than Seiyu. Well, I guess Coco now as well. But anyway, for Akane, no new anime roles. Most likely won't have any at all throughout her time in Bandori unless they push her onto one of the other Bushiroad franchises. So that also means no guest appearances or solo singing. Her Twitter X this year was mostly just personal life. Traveling, hanging out with friends, and then all Ave Mujica stuff. She did hang out with her favorite drummer though, that's pretty cool. It's actually really nice to see somebody meeting their idol and becoming friends with them. So as for the final 2 members, Okada and Watase, they will be in the D4DJ video since that was their first franchise. Next up is Hello Happy World with Miku Ito. She is a very successful Seiyu, so she has a lot more roles and music than other ladies that I've covered. She had her 4th album, This One's For You, one of my favorite of the whole year. An 11th single, Ten Tosen, opening for Stardust Telepath, of course having a role in the series as well. I already mentioned that she was at Animax, but I want to give a special shout out to her duet with Pretty Derby, also being at the Idolmaster Million Live 9th Live and one of the 3 shows for their 10th. Also Ichigen Fest, as well as her own show, a tour titled Everyone is a Gift. She only really had 2 leads this year, one was a special 2 episodes for the quintuplets, and the other was in Spy Classroom. But she had supporting roles in Kubo-san Won't Let Me Be Invisible, Sin Duality Noir, Masamune's Revenge, Eminence in Shadow, Summoned to Another World for a 2nd time, and the Idolmaster Million Live anime. She also joined that Tact Op game. This seems to be the newest iOS game to have a God tier cast. Speaking of God tier cast, she was also in Honkai Star Rail, being on the cover for the July issue of Seiyu Grand Prix, and had a drama reading for the Green-Eyed Lady. There was an event for Spy Classroom with 2 other goddesses, and well, actually she had events for basically all of her anime last year. And quite a few Princess Connect radio shows as well, also being a guest at the Aniplex Online Fest. She was even in a skin cream commercial. Hell yeah. Then her and her Pixis sister held their final radio show, but they still have their Nico YouTube stream. This year she will be in Seiyu Radio no Ura Omote, with that Pixis sister I just mentioned, but also being in Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, having a calendar book with MyGO magazine, and part 4 of the Million Live 10th Live. Also having a live tour titled From Now On, having 4 shows in the summer. Next up is Moe Toyota, tied for Hashi as my favorite girl in the whole franchise. First up is a photo book, Okinawa Rhapsody. Wouldn't be Moishi if she wasn't showing off a little. She even won an award for this too. Honestly, she should win an award every time. Best boobs in the industry. Shout out to Sumire though. Moishi joined a bunch of new games this year, Love Live Link Like, Blue Archive, Princess Connect, and Magia Record. As for anime, she reprised her role in the Sound Euphonium movie. She started doing Pilates very recently and had a drama reading for Dorian Gray, as well as Seimei Demons, also having a radio event with the legend Akito Yosaki, and was at the Roppongi Night Jewel Party event with 2 of her best buds and a bunch of other Seiyu. Then her and her Pixis sister started a playthrough of Resident Evil 4 Remake on their YouTube channel. 2 of my favorite people playing one of my favorite games? You're damn right I was watching this. This year of 2024, she will have Season 3 of Sound Euphonium and playing opposite to Miku in Seiyu Radio. Azusa Tadakoro had quite a few roles last year. New seasons of Masamune's Revenge, Aikatsu, Arc Knights, By the Grace of the Gods, and the SSSS Dynazenon movie. New shows include Saving 80,000 Gold in Another World from My Retirement, Monogatari, Handyman Saito in Another World, Rail Romanesque, and a short series Space Idol voicing the white-haired girl on the right. And of course, Idolmaster Million Live finally got their anime. Speaking of, she was at the Master of Idol Worlds, Million Live 9th Live. The Million Live 10th had 3 of their 4 acts, giving us Azusa twice, and she was at the IMS Love Live Ichigan Fest. Then just a lot of Million Live events and radio. Then as a solo act, she had a live show called Private Room. Ooh. Pretty sure it had 2 shows, and it's the same name as her 14th single, also having a music video. But she also had the song Drumshiki Tanzaki. Great cover. And there was an acoustic live near Christmas. She was at the EJ My Girl Fest, hosted a Tokyo Sakai Collection event, and went over to Chicago for another event. And she was part of that same massive drama reading as Ayasa. Lastly on YouTube, just a little bit of gaming, slowly working through Resident Evil Village. That is 3 times I've got to mention Seiyu I like playing my favorite series. Funny enough, they were all playing different games in the franchise. Surprisingly no anime for this year yet, but she will be at part 4 of Million Live's 10th Live, but only day 2. Tomoyo Kurosawa, as you know, is another very successful Seiyu. So a fair amount of anime. Let's start off with new seasons of old things, like Aikatsu, Record of Ragnarok, Love Live Sunshine, Idolmaster, Kengen Ashura, Jujutsu Kaisen, Sound Euphonium, and Arc Knights. Then for new stuff, Young Vash in the new Trigun, but also roles in Skip and Loafer, Heavenly Delusion, Magical Girl Destroyers, and Undead Girl Murder Farce. She did a live reading for Your Lie in April, was in a musical, and I believe it was called Club A Go-Go. She had a birthday live, even having Hashi on as a guest. Then she was at the Ichigan Fest, the IMS Master of Idol World, and even an event to promote the new Cinderella Girls anime. Lastly for her, she got married in June to the love of her life, as she puts it. Very cute and wholesome. This year she's got more Sound Euphonium and Yoru Camp, but then new things, Sengoku Yoko and Metallic Rouge. Moving on to 2 Pastel ladies real quick, Ami Maishima came back to voice acting, joining Voice Kid Agency, with fellow Bandori and Pastel girl Sumipi. The agency is actually fairly new itself, being founded in December of 2020, and I think it's fairly obvious to say that she didn't have any new roles yet. But during her break, Ami had her wisdom teeth removed and even got her license. After her return, she opened up an Instagram and got a kitten recently named Roa, or Roy. Sumari Uesaka had her Tales of Sumipi live. She too was at the Ichigan Fest. Probably should have just mentioned this as a group thing in the beginning, but oh well. She was also at the Nagano Eniera Festa, at Chojiken Music Festival, and had a Pretty Derby event, also being at AFA Singapore. Her 14th single, Love Crazy, was the opening for the new season of Nagatoro, where she reprised her role as the main character. Even have an event with a few Love Live girls, since they're also in the show. She also had 15th single, Happy End Princess, the opening for Tear Moon Empire, where she again voiced the main character. But as for other anime, well, there's a lot. Like more than anyone else I've mentioned, so let's go. Reprising her roles in Another World with My Smartphone, Tonikawa, Goblin Slayer, Real Romanesque, and short series Cute Executive Officer. Oh, and like 4 characters in Azure Lane. She had new roles in Spy Classroom, Yuri Is My Job, Kamikatsu, Temple, Rokudo's Bad Girls, The Cafe Terrace and Its Goddesses, 100 Girlfriends, and debuted into Tokyo Mew Mew News' 2nd season. As for games, she got a role in Like a Dragon 8, her 2nd time being in the series. She had a fashion collab with Milk Company, stupid name, but considering Osaka, well, maybe it's a good name. But she was also on the cover of AniPass Plus issue 11. I guessed over on NAC 5 Fave 4 and was part of this wrestling event called Lethal Weapons. Look at how much fun she's having. I just love her. Then over on her YouTube, her weekly live stream, sometimes having guests, also music videos for her new songs, even posting some older ones as well. And there was live videos from her recent tour. As far as Seiyu goes, she definitely provides the most amount of content on her channel. This year she will have all of these roles and be at the Chojiken Music Festival again, as well as the Aniplex 20th anniversary show and the King Record Super Live with, I assume, everyone else on the label. So you know how I just said Sumire had a lot of roles? Well, these next 2 really need to chill out. Ayane Sakura opened up an Instagram, so now I can finally, sort of, keep track of her yearly activities. So first up, being at the Psycho Pass 10th anniversary show, she was at the My Hero Academia panel at Anime Japan, portrayed her Bandori character Ron at a Flow Live event, voiced Lila the Otter in a Marvel film, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Then her, along with Akari Kito, dubbed one of the leads for the new Exorcist movie. As for anime, well, buckle up. Spy Classroom, MF Ghost, The Ice Guy and His Cool Female Colleague, My Happy Marriage, Kami Outer Be God App, Firefighter Daigo, Dead Mount Deathplay, a Honkai Impact short YouTube series, and 3 characters in Fate Grand Order, though some of those are characters from older seasons. There was even some short series Chinese anime as well, but also 2 shows that all 90s kids will love, Pokemon and Sailor Moon. Sakura really is a legend. But that's not all, obviously, as she had new seasons of Attack on Titan, Spy Family, Idolmaster Cinderella Girls, Snafu, Psychopaths, Black Clover, Tonikawa, Quintuplets, Girlfriend, and Overlord. As for live action, well, she made her tokusatsu debut, I think. Pretty sure it's her first time. In the King Ogre movie Adventure Heaven, as the villain Devonica. She was on the cover for November's issue of Seiyu Grand Prix. And lastly, a few months ago, she started a weekly radio live stream with our next lady, Yoko Ikasa. But for this year, Sakura has all of this stuff and new My Hero Academia. Keep on making that bank, girl. Speaking of making bank, Yoko and Asan had new seasons of The Fruit of Evolution, The Vampire Dies in No Time, The Duke of Death, Heaven's Official Blessing, Arknights, My Next Life as a Villainess, Eminence in Shadow, Goblin Slayer, The Devil is a Part-Timer, Dr. Stone, and Jujutsu Kaisen. New shows include a lot, so bear with me. Love Live, Sunshine in the Mirror, one of the new Sailor Moon movies, Zom 100, The Great Cleric, Farming Life in Another World, Tokyo Mew Mew New, Shangri-La Frontier, The Vexations of a Shut-In Vampire Princess, Ron Komono Hoshi's Forbidden Destructions, The Masterful Cat is depressed again today, I'm in Love with the Villainess, the young version of the slide by the way, Kingdoms of Ruin, Sweet Reincarnation, My Happy Marriage, Level 1 Demon Lord, Power of Hope, Pretty Cure Full Bloom, Monogatari's 2nd season, Bikurimen, The Aristocats' Otherworldly Adventures, Giant Beast of Ours, Cheat Skill in Another World, Galaxy Next Door, The Reincarnation of the Strongest Exorcist. Actually, this character looks exactly like her. There's also Ito Junji Collection, Pluto, which is like a prequel to Astro Boy, Sorceress Stabber Orphan, the newer version, I think. I think her character was in Empire Seasons at least. She was in this cute little movie, The Klutzy Witch, apparently as the voice for this little ring band, and also Spy Classroom. How many god tier Seiyu have I mentioned for this show, and it's just plain doo-doo. Anyway, as for other stuff, Yoko left I'm Enterprise and also started up an Instagram, posting a lot with Sakura for their radio, but also a radio with Rina Hidaka / Uchida. Shoutouts to her recent marriage. Back to Hikasa, who got married a long time ago. She had a reading drama called Story of Songs. She hosted the Chikagi Nico Nico event, having some Love Live girls as guests. She was also at an Aikatsu festival, as well as Anisama, with her Rokyubu castmates, giving us a banger performance. And lastly, day 3 of Aqua's Yohane Live, even singing a song with the girls. As for this year, well, she's already got all of this lined up. Shoutouts to Shaman King and Arifueta. What a stupid but somewhat fun show. Her character has some serious issues. Getting close to the end here, just gonna go over this lovely angel real quick. Sachiko Misawa. She left her agency Stardust and her fan club shut down, but she did start a TikTok and did a bunch of Instagram lives where she would practice her English. No new rules, just more Bandori and Pretty Derby, but glad to see that she is still somewhat active. Hoping her mental health is getting better too. Really can't tell as she ended up deleting most of her social media again. So for now, we can only hope for the best with her. Finally, just a few miscellaneous things about a few not as popular or as active girls in the series. Ari Ozawa had a new season of Demon Slayer, a fashion collab with LTA, also a stage for her show Extreme Hearts. And though it happened in 2022, she announced it at the beginning of 2023, that being her first child being born. Sawako Hata announced her marriage to an ordinary person. Love the way they phrase that. Yuri Yoshida had a new season of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. Really wish she was more active though. I absolutely adore her. She is very smart and very lively. Yuka Ozaki, the final girl in the video, had a lead role in Otaku Elf, even dressing up as the character for a live event. And although I did mention it in the Bushy recap, I will say that she was fairly active over in Revue Starlight this year, being in a few reading theaters and a couple of full-on stage plays. So with all that done, we have reached the ending. Thank you so much for watching this probably pretty long video. I really do hope you've enjoyed, and I hope I was able to keep things simple and clear. If you're new here, please do subscribe. I'm pretty close to 1,000, and once I can do this more freely, I have some big plans for fun videos rather than just informative ones. And please join me in the next one, everything that the D4DJ Seiyu were up to last year, with cameos from some Revstar and Assault Lily girls too. I look forward to seeing you there.